Hey family, welcome back to Buzzworthy Veterans. I'm your host, Ant Stroud. Today I have the honor of sitting next to a man with many talents, Nick Howland with the FireWatch. Hey Nick, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me on, Ant.
All right, so before we jump into the FireWatch and what that amazing cause is, tell us about your military career.
Like you, I'm a Navy veteran.
Yes.
4 years, I was in 95 to 99, so between the two Gulf Wars.
Okay.
I was a surface warfare officer, so 2 years on a destroyer, and then 2 years at a special boat unit. Back then, in the Navy SEAL community, they had teams, boat teams, and SEAL teams. And I went to a boat team because they didn't have enough officers from the SEAL community to man those boat teams. They drew from the fleet. So I had an amazing 2 years, but I was in between the two Gulf Wars, so we just did a lot of training. I didn't see
How was that experience? Because I mean, just anybody, when you think SEALs, you're thinking ring the bell, you're thinking torture, you're thinking, oh my God, these people are the best of the best, and craziness and awesome and exciting. And then they told me I had to do so many push-ups, and I was like, this does not do push-ups like that. Okay, so how was that being around them?
I had to train for it before I got there.
So they don't just let you on. You gotta...
but it was self-training, you know, and I knew what the expectations were when I arrived. But they're such a unique group of warfighters, I'm telling you, because we would we'd work out every day, pretty much 6:45 to 7:30 every day. On Fridays, there'd be a long workout. And in that long workout, we'd do some interesting things. It just so happened that my unit was stationed across the Mississippi River from the French Quarter of New Orleans.
Okay, yep.
we were in Algiers at the time, though we train on a river in the border of Louisiana and Mississippi. But we would do long runs, sometimes through the French Quarter, sometimes in through the woods, in the bayou. And oftentimes at the end of those runs, there would be, you know, maybe it was a 10-mile run. We'd end up at a range where you'd have to put 10 rounds on target. Yeah. And I'd be so tired. But these guys, they're almost superhuman. You know, they could put 10 rounds right on target every time.
Oh, I bet. They're trained for that. And
yeah, they're trained for endurance.
But that comes with a passion. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just say, I want to be a Navy SEAL. Like, you had to be bred into that passion, because the training alone weeds all of that out. If you're not, if it's not your passion, you're weeded out quickly. And speaking of passion, let's jump into the FireWatch.
Yep.
That is a huge passion of yours, just from speaking with you, being in your presence, understanding what it's about, and seeing the fire within you for this. Tell me about that.
It is a huge passion. And I, again, rolled out of the Navy in 1999, right from that special boat unit. A lot of my buddies went on to go to SEAL training and become SEALs. I got out. And a few years later, while I was in business school, 9/11 happened. So I had been thinking business school, I'm going to go be a banker or a consultant. And I had a bit of a crisis of purpose when I was in business school until Raytheon came to recruit on campus. And the Raytheon guys like, who wants to come help us fight the global war on terror? So I ended up graduating from business school, getting into the defense industry, and I've been in protective product manufacturing since. Life jackets, life rafts, body armor, that kind of product. And in the last 10 years of my career, I've done a lot of work for private equity firms, which would employ me for 3 or 4 years while they were trying to grow the business, and then they'd sell it. And then they'd employ me on the next one to sell it. And they were relatively new to that space, so I was oftentimes working in similar industries, recruited by a new private equity firm. And I had just finished one project right in December 19, when a group of folks approached me about potentially helping to take this concept that was the FireWatch and make it a reality. And it had special meaning for me, because that concept is fighting veteran suicide. That's what the FireWatch is all about. So a number of folks in the community, led by Rory Diamond, the CEO of Canines for Warriors, also a city councilman in Jacksonville.
Absolutely.
And a handful of others, like our chair, Brigadier General Mike Fleming, a Marine and a Florida Army National Guard veteran, had assembled this idea, which was investing more in mental health at the VA is not stemming the tide of veteran suicide. We need to look at prevention and community-led prevention models. So that's what the FireWatch is all about. It's about getting to veterans before they slip into suicidal ideation. It's about engaging the community to learn the risk signs of veterans in crisis, and engaging the community to learn how to direct those veterans to the resources they need.
That sounds amazing. It sounds like an amazing program.
Yep.
But is it only for veterans, or like who can be part of the FireWatch family? Well,
our marquee program is called the Watchstander program. It's available to everyone, veterans, civilians, and it's online at thefirewatch.org. I also will go out and train entire organizations to become watchstanders, is what we call it. You get trained, you become a watchstander. And what you get trained on through our online training and in-person training is how to identify those risk signs and how to get veterans at risk to the help that they need. In return, we ask that you attend veteran events as soon as COVID makes it feasible.
Yes.
You get a wristband, you get a little wallet card reminding you how to take action, you get a car sticker. We're trying to get 10,000 members of the community. Again, they can be anyone, not just veterans, but civilians, caretakers, anyone who cares about this crisis that is veteran suicide can go through our training and become a watchstander.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about that transition, because so much from what I've understood, that suicide is just, it's after the transition, not really knowing where to go. What was that like for you? I mean, I know you went to college and it seems like you had it all together. And as everybody knows, the picture's perfect when you're looking from the outside, but how was that transition for you? And what do you see with that going with your brothers and sisters?
Well, my final 2 years in, when I was at the Special Boat Unit, I focused a lot on what I was going to do once I got out. I kind of knew I wanted to resign my commission and become a civilian and get into the business world. So my main transition vehicle was business school, because business school teaches you, what careers there are out there in the business world and gets you quickly to focus on what you're doing. But again, when I was in business school, 9/11 did happen, and I was trained to, fight war, both on a destroyer and in the special boat riverine community. So I had this crisis of purpose. So that was my biggest challenge getting out, and it was solved when I stepped into the defense industry. And I've spent the last 20 years of my career trying to take care of our soldiers, sailors, airmen, special operators with protective products. And now at FireWatch, I'm trying to take care of veterans, because those folks who stayed in, not like me, but those who stayed in have undergone 20 years of intense conflict.
Absolutely.
Longest prolonged war period in our nation's history. And our veterans need to be taken care of.
Well, the cause is just, and I know whether they serve for 1 year, 6 months, or the 20 to 30 years, the FireWatch has their back, and they're here to watch for them.
You got
it. If I run that website by me again, where people can go to become a FireWatch.
It's thefirewatch.org. So you can't just go firewatch.org, the FireWatch.
Make sure you put that in there.
We also have an app available on Android and iOS. And on the website, you can directly, if you need help, if you have the website or if you have the app downloaded on your phone, if you need help, it can get you directly to the Veteran Crisis Line, the National Veteran Crisis Line, or to 2 or 3 other resources where if you just want to talk to other fellow veterans because you're in the mood to do so, you can do that.
Really? Wow.
Also on the website and the app is a full guide, easily navigable, to over 400 veteran resources available in Northeast Florida, low cost, no cost, financial assistance to legal aid to mental health. So it's a really powerful app and a real powerful website, the FireWatch.
That's definitely a resource that I know that everybody can use if they need it, and it's always there for them.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. And I would recommend everybody download that app, because, a lot of times veterans and people in general, there's so many numbers out there to help with suicide, but who's really going to program that into their phone? They don't think they're going to need it. And then when the time comes, trying to find it might be too overwhelming just to think about trying to find the number. Exactly. So if you have the app, it's right there. Open the app, hit the button, and you're connected to somebody who's there to help you.
You've got it 100%. Thanks,
awesome.
Ant.
Thanks so much for being here, Nick. I appreciate you.
Thanks for raising awareness to the issue. I appreciate it, Ant.
Awesome. All right, family, that's going to do it for this episode of Buzzworthy Veterans. If you want to learn more about Nick and the FireWatch, please visit iwannabuzz.com. I'm your host, Ant Stroud, and remember, always vets, always family. I'll see you next time.